here for Gamereactor at Gamescom 2016, and I'm here with Scott. And you know, they say us games journalists we should be unbiased, but I'm just gonna drop that facade right now. This is my favorite game of the year so far.
Thank you.
So let's get into the very exciting news. You've announced some new stuff here at Gamescom. Tell us all what it is.
Sure. So we announced our new map, Eichenwalde. It's a assault escort hybrid map. It takes place in a German city just outside Stuttgart, where the Omnics and back in the first crisis, there was a huge battle there. So what you see now is the ruins of the city. You will see Omnic corpses around. It's a really striking map. It's a lot of fun to play on. Also beautiful to look at. So we're very excited for that because players will be able to play that at Gamescom here for the very first time. And then we're also, we just announced Season 2 competitive changes as well. So those are going on to the public test realm, I think today. Players will be able to get their hands on that. And yes, that's most of the huge announcements. And then we're also, there'll be a, yeah.
Let's touch upon that map a little bit. I'm assuming this is in Germany. This is, we're going to see the home offices of Reinhardt, maybe?
This is actually the, Eichenwalde is actually, this battle, it's where his mentor, Baldrak von Adler, actually fell. So there's definitely a little bit of history that ties into Reinhardt. And like I said, you'll see that in the map.
Yeah. And it's a cap slash payload, right?
Yes.
And I mean, all the cap payload maps, they have a certain something different about them. Volsky Industries, you have the platforms. Numbani, you have a lot of overhanging sniper spots and stuff. What can you expect from this map?
I think the really interesting thing here is the castle elements. I mean, there's definitely a lot of overhanging ledges for you to shoot down on the path that the payload takes you through, as well as actually you can get, there's a pass underneath where the payload is well. So there's catacombs and embankments. There's a lot of very, I think, iconic castle themes that you'll see throughout this map. I think also the payload itself is actually this huge battering ram. So once you get it and take it to the castle gates, the checkpoint is actually it breaking down the gates and opening it up for it to go through. So there's a lot of, I think, really fun elements there.
Yeah. Now you've recently introduced Anna into the game, and there's been some data mining going on. People were projecting that there will be a new character coming along. We didn't see it here, but is there still hope?
We're definitely going to be releasing new heroes in the future. It's something we're very excited about. Anna was very successful. I think our community really enjoyed it. She's a lot of fun to play. And like I said, they really enjoyed the fact that she was an older, more mature woman that was also the mother of Farah. So I think they really enjoyed that tie-in as well to the story. So we're definitely looking forward to releasing more heroes. They're a lot of fun. And we'll have to see exactly which heroes we'll do in the future.
Now, let's touch upon the changes to competitive. Sure. What are we talking about?
Sure. So there's sort of two big things. First of all, we're changing the way the rating scale works. Previously, it worked on a 1 to 100 skill rating, and we're changing that to 1 to 5,000. So you don't have to deal with as many fractions, and when people went up and down, they didn't quite get to one skill rating. So it's a little bit more understandable from that perspective. But then we're also breaking that 1 to 5,000 up into separate, distinct tiers and labeling them, and the names are very easy to understand in terms of bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and grandmaster. So when you finish your placement matches, you'll immediately get into a tier, something that you can immediately identify with. That was another problem with the previous system where people came out of placements and they were 47. What does that mean? I think if you come out of placements and you're going to say, hey, you're gold, and then with the skill rating of 2400, I think that's a lot more understandable. People can get around, they can identify with that more. So we're making changes on that front. And then we're also making a bunch of changes to the game modes themselves. The first season, we added this, what we refer to as a time bank system to our assault maps. And we're actually taking that concept and moving them over towards sort of the escorts and the hybrid maps as well. And we think that's going to add a lot there. It's we'll be able to break tie breaks on our escort maps really well. The first season we didn't have ties, but we had but our tiebreaker wasn't very well received, so we got rid of that, and now we're going to allow for ties. But we're also making a bunch of small changes to the game mode, so ties just don't happen as often. So that's a lot. That's a lot of what we're doing, and then little small things like the lever penalty is becoming a little bit more or less forgiving. making other small changes, such as you will no longer be able to group with practically anyone whenever you go into a competitive match. You'll have to group with someone of a little bit closer skill rating. Little changes like that I think were definitely like things we learned over the last season that going forward in the second one should make for I think a much better system overall.
A couple of things there. First off, this may actually fix an issue that I ran into a couple of times, which is intentional D-ranking. When people wanted more, points, they wanted that gold gun, but hey, they hit the full rank. So they intentionally were playing bad to D-rank and get up. Do you think that this new rating system will actually get rid of something like that?
Like going down, like D-ranking, like just specifically so you can get more wins. There's never really necessarily like worked actually like that well. I think there's a lot of like misconceptions about like how the system works in terms of, the time you spent D-ranking is time you could have been winning. Yeah. So I think overall, with it being a more like understandable system, like those kinds of like situations, people will see that like it's not really worth it to do that kind of thing. So I mean, and going forward, like if those kinds of situations do come up, if there's things that feel like wrong, things that feel cheesy or something where you aren't just playing, having fun, trying to play to the best of your abilities with your teammates, just to try to improve yourself, which is the point of the competitive play. If it becomes something other than that, then we'll make more changes going forward because there's going to be a season 3, and it's something we definitely know that there's going to be, continued changes as we improve the system.
Now, a big part of the core gameplay of Overwatch is, of course, the hero switching. I noticed in competitive mode, you can only have one hero of each type. I mean, sometimes, it calls for throwing out 3 divas out there and making a push. Is that something that you're considering for competitive?
Yeah, so the hero limit is something we've actually been discussing for years. It's a pretty debated topic. There's definitely pros and cons on like both sides. For season 1 and going forward in season 2, we went with the 1 hero limit, really because while there are some cool things and occasionally, it's like, hey, if we counter, like they're playing a lot of tanks, let's counter with a lot of Reapers or Roadhogs. For all those situations, there's other, I think, more annoying situations where like someone comes out, starts the match as 6 divas and you weren't prepared for it. So we really looked at it from a standpoint of like what's better for the game overall. It's like if those kinds of like sort of like cheesy compositions happen like once in a blue like pretty rarely, it's like you laugh about it and you're like, oh, that was kind of cool, and it's like, and then we crush them anyway because it doesn't work. But but when it happens a lot, I think it becomes more annoying, and that's something where that's when we made the call. It's like if it's more annoying than cool, we'll change to the 1 hero limit. So
season 1's coming to an end. When exactly does season 1 and season 2 start?
Season 1 ends August 18th, and season 2 is scheduled to start ends August 18th, which is here during Gamescom, and then the next season is scheduled to start September 6th, although there might be a little bit of change there.
Okay. Now, what I think was very refreshing is the summer games that you've been running now in accordance to the Olympic Games. Lose Your Ball, new mode. Are you considering doing more stuff like this in the future? Like, can we expect this to regularly happen?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to do more events like this. Hard to say exactly what form they were, because I think whenever we were talking about summer games, we initially didn't even think of Lose Your Ball, and Lose Your Ball was this thing that like we prototyped and went, hey, this is actually kind of fun, and then just kept on developing it and making it cooler and cooler. So it's hard to say exactly like which events we might do and so forth, but we're very excited, especially because Summer Games I think has been received so well. In terms like Lucy Ball is just a blast to play, and if we can come up with other like fun new game modes or whatever else we might come up with, then yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. And I mean, the surprise is nice, right?
Yes, absolutely. The nice thing about the events is that they'll give you like a little bit of a break. I think Lucy Ball, like a lot of people had fun with, they still played, competitive or quick play or whatever, but then they could play a couple matches really quick of Lucio Ball, and it was a nice breakup, something that...
yeah, it's when you're close to that rage quit, and then, okay, I'm going to do 2 rounds of Lucio Ball, and then I'll go back.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're definitely, like, if we can create more moments like that, it'll be great for the game.
Yeah. And now the skins and items that came with the Summer Games, they cannot be unlocked with points or money. Is that going to stay the same? Like, if you get the skins now, you're the only one that has them. People that buy the game, next month.
Yeah, I mean,
tough.
They'll only be available during Summer Games. Summer Games might return in the future, and then potentially they'll be available there as well. And during the games, as you play and earn levels, you can unlock boxes for that. So they could become available in the future that way. But yeah, after Summer Games ends, that's it.
I think that's just about everything. Is there anything that we didn't touch upon that you want to talk about?
Sure. Yeah, we're also. I mean, I guess we've teased, and something else we will see here is like our next new short. It's about Bastion. Can't talk about a lot about that until it's actually like out there, but I think it also does tie into the map as well. So I think it's very exciting. People will really enjoy seeing that short.
Yeah, and I really enjoy how you're telling the story of the game outside of the game itself. When you're playing the game, it's the game. If you want the story and everything, it's separate. But you still have all these teases, like from the Hanzo animation. You have the arrow almost hitting his head, and then it's in the map the next day.
Yes.
So you're going to continue with stuff like that, and I guess you have more movies planned, going forward.
I mean, we enjoy doing them, and definitely, as you noted, I think that we don't have the opportunity to tell a lot of story within the game because it's a very fast-moving you're playing the game. So we're definitely looking for more opportunities of these kinds of shorts. Exactly which ones we might do, whether it's hero-based or something else, we'll see.
Well, that's it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.